So the greenhouse is a hoop house we built 10 years ago. We moved it from our previous residence. It's from Vermont Garden Supply. This particular, there's thousands of different kinds out there you can get. We liked it because it was a kit that you can follow directions on how to build it. It's fairly lightweight materials, cheap materials, and it has that central ridge, I think it's a 2x10, across the middle, and it's very well built for and why Vermont sells it. Vermont sells it because it's made for heavy loads of snow. There's a lot of kits you can get where if you don't have that middle ridge, a year like we had last year, I've seen dozens of hoop houses that were collapsed, even steel ones that were collapsed without that central ridge because of if they're not heated inside to melt the snow, you build up 3 feet of snow and it'll just knock the whole thing down. So this is a very, very perfect model for us for this experience, for this climate. We use it because in the winter we grow hardy greens in there. So that's spinach, arugula, mustard relatives like vitamin greens and purple mustard. You can even grow beets and carrots. And what we do is we put little cold frames inside the greenhouse. So in the cold frames in the middle of January, when it's 10 degrees outside and it's sunny, in there it gets to 70 degrees. So, but then you lose all the heat in the nighttime, but the ground is just warm enough to not freeze too thick. The ground only can really freeze about an inch or two with that protection. So all those hardy greens can establish, and by about March, when there's more light, because we have very little light, because you can imagine the sun comes across the landscape like this. All these houses right here produce a lot of shade for us in the wintertime, unfortunately. Not a lot, some. So by about March, we have enough light where we're eating greens pretty prolifically in March. So that gives us about 2 or 3 months head start above most farmers or gardeners because of this little microclimate we create. In the summertime, we take the hardy greens out and we grow things like tomatoes, eggplants, and squashes, things that like a lot of heat. This year, we gave it a rest and we're growing kind of very odd, unique crops that were more for experimentation than for food necessarily. That's loud.
When do you plant the greens?
The greens? Yeah, right now would be a good time.
Yeah.
We're a little behind actually. We started them in flats. We're experimenting with doing that, and we're going to transplant. Over the years, sometimes it's been hard to establish the raw seeds. I don't know if Eric mentioned it, but in the greenhouse is what we call the Northeast Agricultural Complex. So Native Americans, before corn beans and squash in the Northeast, arrived in the Northeast. Corn beans and squash came from Mexico and slowly moved north into the Northeast United States. Before they arrived, the Native Americans were eating other things. The Northeast Agricultural Complex is the geeky way of saying that. They ate amaranth. They ate lamb's quarters. They ate native grasses that produce little seeds. They used the bottle gourd, not this particular one, but like ones like this further south of us. They ate the native beans. This is woolly bean that's in there, which is a native bean, kind of lentil sized. So we wanted to kind of experiment with learning about these crops because we've never grown them before.